Welcome back to Gilead, except this time we're not following a handmaid in red. We're following teenage girls in purple, being groomed, conditioned, and prettied up for marriage. And somehow, that's even more unsettling. This is The Testaments, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm breaking it all down so you don't have to. So first, quick context. The Testaments is a direct sequel to The Handmaid's Tale, set 4 years after the events of that show. Same Gilead, new faces, and a very different entry point into this nightmare. Because where June Osborne knew what freedom felt like, these girls don't. They were born into this. They believe in it. And that makes it so much more disturbing to watch. Our main girl is Agnes, daughter of a commander, which in Gilead terms means she's basically royalty. She lives in a massive house, has Martha's basically enslaved domestic workers taking care of her, and attends an elite prep school run by none other than Aunt Lydia herself. But Agnes has a problem at home. Her mother, Tabitha, who she loved, is dead. And her father has remarried a cold, calculating woman named Paula, who has zero interest in playing stepmother. The only place Agnes gets to be herself, even a little, is in her dollhouse, a miniature replica of her real home where she traps Paula's doll in the attic. Small rebellions. Aunt Lydia's school has no maths, no science, no literature. It teaches girls how to be obedient, silent, God-fearing wives. That's it. The girls are color-coded by stage. Pinks are the younger girls. Plums, that's Agnes and her friends, are the older ones who haven't gotten their period yet. Greens have, and once you're green, the marriage clock starts ticking hard. Agnes's crew, Shunammite, the ambitious one who wants to marry the most powerful commander she can. Huldah, who is a little unhinged in the best possible way, and Becca, Agnes's secret best friend, because close friendships are actually discouraged here. Becca is already a green and is being lined up for matching. Halfway through the episode, Aunt Lydia drops a new girl into Agnes's lap. Her name is Daisy, and she's a Pearl Girl. That's what they call converts who come in from outside Gilead. Pearl Girls have a reputation for being snitches, so the other Plums immediately hate her. Shunammite tells Agnes to get Daisy in trouble before Daisy gets her. Agnes does the opposite. Here's where the show reminds you exactly where you are. A man is dragged into the classroom, accused of touching himself on school grounds. Aunt Esty puts it to the girls. What should happen to him? Every single girl votes for punishment. His arm gets sawed off right there in front of everyone. Daisy runs out and throws up, and Agnes, she genuinely cannot understand what Daisy is so shocked about. He broke the rules. That's it. That's the whole thought. This moment is everything. Agnes isn't cruel. She's just been so thoroughly conditioned that a man losing his arm to a buzzsaw in a classroom is simply the expected outcome of breaking a rule. After the chaos, Daisy lets her mask slip. She blasphemes, a massive violation in Gilead. Agnes covers for her. Pinky swears not to tell. God is merciful, Agnes says, but the aunts? Not always. And that night, after Agnes goes home, Daisy pulls out a hidden radio from her bed frame and listens. She's receiving instructions from someone. We also get a brief flashback. Daisy skating freely in Toronto with June Osborne watching from a distance, and Agnes's narration quietly drops a bomb. She doesn't know who her real mother is, but she tells us that things will change when she does. Episode 1 sets up the whole season beautifully. Gilead from the inside, through the eyes of a girl who believes in it completely. The horror isn't the violence, it's how normal everything feels to Agnes. And that pinky swear, that's the first crack in the wall. The big event of this episode, Agnes gets her period. In the real world, that's personal. In Gilead, it's a public announcement. Agnes literally goes around telling everyone, her Marthas, her teachers, her friends, because this is a milestone that the entire system has been waiting for. You're no longer a plum. You're a green now, which means you're officially eligible for marriage. And here's what makes this moment hit differently than it should. Agnes is happy about it. She's excited. She's been raised to see this as the finish line, proof that she can fulfill her God-given purpose as a wife and mother. The tragedy is that she doesn't see the trap closing around her. Meanwhile, her friend Becca, who's already a green, is quietly, noticeably dreading it. She's already been told she'll be matched soon, and she's barely holding herself together. This episode also digs deeper into the absence of Agnes's real mother, Tabitha, the woman who actually loved her, who's dead now. All Agnes has left of that love is memory. And Paula, her stepmother, is determined to make even that feel small. Paula is cold, dismissive, and is barely concealing the fact that she wants Agnes out of the house as fast as possible. She's not a monster for the sake of it, she's just ruthlessly self-interested, which in Gilead somehow feels worse. Here's where the episode earns its title. Agnes goes to the school dentist, Dr. Grove, alone for the first time. Previously, her mother always came with her. Dr. Grove is Becca's father, and he assaults Agnes during the appointment. Agnes doesn't fully process what's happened. She has no framework for it because Gilead has spent her entire life telling her that when men behave badly around women, it's the women who are at fault. So she carries it in silence, she doesn't report it, she doesn't even fully name it to herself. This is one of the most quietly devastating moments in the show so far. The system doesn't protect Agnes from predators. The system is specifically designed so predators like Grove can operate freely, with girls too ashamed and too conditioned to ever speak up. Meanwhile, Daisy is going through Gilead's indoctrination process, the full program of discipline, prayer, and surveillance that Pearl girls are put through. She's holding it together on the outside, but internally she's still fighting everything she's seeing. And she's getting sloppy. She's still using the hidden radio at night, but she's not being careful enough. She's shuffling things around and making noise. Anyone paying attention could notice. The question is, has anyone? The episode's sharpest observation is how Gilead keeps its girls in line by turning them against each other. Paula puts Agnes down. Shunammite makes cutting comments. Even Becca, Agnes's closest friend, has her moments of casual cruelty. In a scene that echoes the circle sequences from The Handmaid's Tale, Agnes actually turns on Daisy, gets in her face, calls her names, performing exactly the kind of social aggression the ants have cultivated. It's painful to watch, not because Agnes is a bad person, but because she's doing exactly what she's been trained to do: make everyone an enemy. A rebellion can't form if everyone's too busy policing each other. For the first time, the narration shifts to Daisy, and immediately the whole show opens up. Because where Agnes sees Gilead as home, Daisy sees it for what it is: a cage. Her internal monologue is sharp, unfiltered, and often darkly funny. When Agnes gives her a prim little warning about staring too obviously at Garth, their guardian, we hear Daisy's inner voice absolutely roasting her. The contrast is perfect. Through a series of flashbacks, we finally learn Daisy's full story. And it's brutal. Her parents, Neil and Melanie, ran a vintage clothing shop in Toronto. Normal life. Normal people. Except they weren't. They were collaborating with Mayday, the underground resistance network, smuggling women out of Gilead. And Gilead found out. Neil and Melanie are killed, murdered. Daisy is called in to identify their bodies, and she's sitting there in shock, being processed by social services when June Osborne, yes, that June, shows up and tells her the truth. Her parents were resistance fighters. Gilead had them killed, and Daisy herself is a child of Gilead, smuggled out as a baby by her birth mother. Her adoptive parents took her in knowing the risk. Now Gilead wants her back. Daisy doesn't accept all of this immediately. She sneaks out at night to see her boyfriend Justin, the one who gave her the hidden radio, She's desperately trying to feel like a normal teenager again, but she can't. Because June is waiting for her outside Justin's place, and when Justin suggests just going to the police, Daisy knows on some level that that's not how this works. June tells her the truth plainly. You are a child of Gilead, and now they know where you are. The safest play, insane as it sounds, might actually be going in. Back in the present, the Plums are taken on a field trip to visit a former classmate who has just married a commander. It's supposed to be aspirational. Look how well she's done, girls. But through Daisy's eyes, it just reads as a performance of happiness in a gilded prison. And then the bus gets attacked. Mayday agents open fire on the school convoy. Aunt Vidala, who spends a lot of time projecting authority and righteousness, immediately hits the floor. Daisy, without hesitation, covers Agnes with her own body. This is the moment the two of them actually become something real. Not an assigned mentorship, not wary coexistence. Daisy risks herself for Agnes without thinking, and that matters. There's also a small, brilliant scene where Hulda is horrified that one of the wounded guardians had a hairy stomach. Daisy explains that this is just how bodies work. The Plums assume she knows this because she's been living some wild, sinful life in Canada. Daisy explains it's because of going to the beach. The gap between their worlds is almost funny, and then it's heartbreaking. The field trip also introduces Commander Judd, who every sign points to being this season's central villain. He shows up at the commander's house, being warm and reassuring with the girls. He's charming, he's performative, and he takes a particular interest in Daisy, gently asking why she chose to become a Pearl Girl. To do God's will, Daisy says. He smiles. He's not convinced, and neither are we. Here it is. The end of the episode reveals that the bus attack wasn't random. It was a planned Mayday operation, and Daisy knew about it. She's been working with Garth, her guardian, who is apparently a Mayday operative. The attack was meant to be a retrieval mission. Daisy gives Garth the map she drew of the school. But when she asks to speak to June, the person who sent her in, Garth claims he doesn't know who that is. Daisy is now stuck, playing both sides. A double agent in a place where being caught means losing your tongue at best. She doesn't fully trust Garth. She can't go to Agnes. She has no direct line to June. And whatever the retrieval mission was actually for, that question is still open. Episode 3 is the best of the opening 3. It takes the world we've been building in Agnes's head and blows it wide open. Daisy isn't just the mysterious outsider. She's the connective tissue between Gilead's past and whatever's coming next. The bus attack raises the stakes to a whole new level. And that final scene with Garth, the season just got a lot more dangerous.